Welcome to today's live stream. I'm going to get started in about a minute. I want everybody to know that the live stream is going on, so I'm going to do a little social media promotion before I go on. Okay, now the promotion is on. We got 20 people in the chat. Let's get those likes up to 20 at least. Come on, guys. What's going on? Steve Wawella. What's going up? True Brew Jones. It's hot up here in the Bronx, but I'm cooling off. Nightingale Wednesday Nightmare. Thank you for being here and modding the discussion. What's going on? King Sigma and R. Charles. Today's topic, I'm going to go in depth talking about Ayesha Curry's escalating disrespect of Steph Curry. Now, Ayesha Curry in the last 2 weeks has been escalating her disrespect of Steph Curry after she made that statement on the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett, where she said that she wanted to get the attention of other men. Now, after making this disrespectful statement to your Steph Curry while he was in the middle of the NBA Finals, your Ayesha Curry decided to escalate things because she saw that your Steph Curry was out here making statements talking about how he was standing by his woman. And when he did that, what he did was show the world, in as Black Male Advice TV Ringo has said, he's a 3-point simp. Because only a simp is going to sit there and stand by a woman who is going out of her way to flagrantly disrespect him as a man. And when you don't check a woman who is flagrantly disrespecting you, what she does is she escalates her behavior to go out here and participate in more disrespectful and out-of-pocket behavior. Because that's what's going on with Ayesha Curry right now. She's seen that she has gotten away with disrespecting Steph Curry at that Red Table Talk, and that his response to that disrespect was going out here and just saying that he's going to stand by her. And once she saw that she could get away with that, she decided to start pushing the boundaries of the relationship and seeing what further disrespect she could get away with. And the second thing she did to go out here and disrespect Steph Curry to his face was taking that viral photo of her wearing those short shorts and showing off her legs to other men out here and seeking to get attention from those other men out here. Because when she made that statement, again, talking about how she wanted the attention of other men, she was sending a message to him that she had no respect for him, she had no regard for him, and that she was going to go out here and look to get the attention of those other men. And then because he said he was standing by her, what she did was escalate things by putting on those short shorts, showing off those legs, putting that photo out there on the internet. And then after that, seeing that he was still continuing not to go out here and check her for her out-of-pocket behavior, what Ayesha Curry decided to do was further push the boundaries earlier this week by going out here and not wearing her wedding ring. So she is going out here sending a message to Steph Curry saying that she is out here putting herself on the market and she's making herself available for other men. Because when you take off your wedding ring, the symbol that you are married to this man and are committing to your vows of death do you part, when you see a woman taking off her wedding ring, it is a powerful message to every man that this woman is putting herself back on the market. Moreover, it is a message to her husband that she is not respecting her marriage, she is not respecting their relationship, and she has little respect for him as a man. So I'm looking at Ayesha Curry's escalating behavior, and it's showing me that she is getting ready to go out here and pursue some sort of affair with some sort of dude out here. Because when you see women out here taking off wedding rings, putting on short shorts, and going out here and participating in this type of behavior, it's sending a message that she does not respect her marriage, she does not respect her family, and she's looking to go out here and thought things up and sow these wild oats that she wants to go out here. And that's what she's looking to do and right in Steph Curry's face. Now, this is quite troubling because Ayesha Curry says that she's a Christian. She says she's a church girl. But when I look at her behavior from a biblical standpoint, I see the behavior of an adulteress. And under the word of God that Jesus stated in Matthew, he stated that when a man looks upon a woman to lust after her, he's already committed adultery in his heart. And when Ayesha Curry made that statement, saying that she wanted the attention of other men, she was committing adultery in her own heart. And that's where the adultery started, because she's out here looking for the attention of other men, and she's looking to try to find ways to get the attention of other men. And she's doing things to get their attention, like walking around with these short shorts showing off her legs, because that's not something a mother of 3 children does, because the mother of 3 children wants to show respect for her husband, 1, and 2, she wants to model behavior so her children can see how a woman presents herself to the world. So a mother is going, as the first teacher, is not going to be running around here in short shorts and walking around without a wedding ring, because she understands that she has to present a positive image that reflects not only on her man, but also on herself, and also provides a model for her daughters and her sons to see for womanhood. So when you see a woman like Ayesha Curry behaving the way I've seen her behave, this is reprehensible and it's completely egregious. And again, it shows how she is escalating her behavior because your Steph Curry, as a Christian man, is not checking her, and he is not taking the lead in the relationship. Because as a man who's following the living God, I understand that the man is the leader, the man is the head of the family, and as God's steward, he has to have control over his household, and he has to set the standard as related to how his household is established. And Steph Curry is not doing a good job of establishing a standard for his household, and he's not setting a boundary for Ayesha Curry and her behavior. And because he's not setting that standard and setting a boundary for things, this is why she is escalating things and making more efforts to flagrantly disrespect her husband and disrespect her marriage. And the latest stunt she has pulled in this escalation of disrespect, and this was reported on TV1, and I'm going to leave a link to you guys right there in the chat so you can read it for yourself, is an article with your Ayesha Curry making a statement that she is nervous that her nude photos will leak. And she's saying that she has sent nude photos to her husband while he's on the road. And there is nothing wrong with a woman sending photos like that to her husband because that's in between them in their marriage. So what is the problem here is she's talking about this being leaked due to carelessness with his phone and that he won't delete them off his phone. And what she's doing is disrespecting her husband by putting that business out on the street. Now, any wife who is in a marriage, she's going to keep that business to herself because that's between her and her husband. And that's a discussion she would have with her husband in private. And they would have that in private about these photos on the phone because the husband and the wife, that's between them. But by Ayesha Curry going out here and talking about this, what she's doing is trying to, again, escalate the disrespect to her husband by saying that, oh, he's got these nudes of me on his phone. He's kind of careless with his phone and sending the message to other people to violate his personal space because a man's cell phone is almost like his wallet. And what she's doing is sending a message to people, oh, go get his phone so that you can see my nude photos and possibly leak these nude photos all over the internet. So what she's doing is trying to apply a bit of reverse psychology on everyone out here in the hopes of getting attention for herself and hoping to create some sort of scandal where she can get more attention for herself at her husband's expense. And in a way, passive aggressively, she's looking to take a shot at Steph Curry. And the way she's looking to take a shot at Steph Curry is by saying that he's so weak that he'll leave his phone around and that you guys out here can take his phone away from him, basically taking something that's very important to him. And you can take that and get photos of me. And you, as you're getting these photos of me, you can then point a middle finger up at him because you're getting a look at me, but you're also able to get one over on him. And this, again, is an expression of contempt at your Steph Curry, basically sending a message that I no longer respect my husband. I no longer see my husband as a leader. I no longer see my husband as an authority figure. And I no longer see my husband as anybody I regard. I see my husband as a complete joke. And you guys can get in on the joke by taking his phone and getting a look at me. And again, this is more disrespect at your Steph Curry. And she's sitting there continuing to escalate this behavior because your Steph Curry is a 3-point simp. And he has been completely emasculated in this situation. He has been completely cucked in this situation because, again, any man out here with a backbone and some stones, the minute she said she wanted the attention of another man, what that man was going to do is that man is going to leave your Ayesha Curry because he sees that the relationship is over at this point. Because when a woman says she wants the attention of other men, that's when any man with a backbone and stones tells her to go be with those other men because obviously you do not value me as a man. You do not value my time. And moreover, you don't respect me as a man. And this is the thing that your Steph Curry doesn't understand about this situation is that this woman has absolutely no respect for him. And if you do not have respect, you will never get love from a woman. So he does not have any love for the woman. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, you say you want love, but the whole thing is you can't get love without respect. And a woman who respects her man, she's not going to go out here and talk about getting attention from other men, nor is she going to go out here and do things like your Ayesha Curry has done. Now, when I look at your Ayesha Curry's behavior, I see what Tariq Nasheed said many years ago in a classic video called 7 Levels of Disrespect. And I believe that Steph Curry is on level 3 as related to the 7 levels of disrespect that Tariq talked about many years ago. Because as I see it, the first level of disrespect is when a female starts talking about other men. And I've had that happen to me back when I was in high school. And when I heard the woman telling me, the girl telling me back when I was in Park West, then I couldn't do anything for her and was talking about other dudes, that's when I cut her off right there. Because at that first level of disrespect, that's when you let that woman go. Because if she's going to disrespect you on level 1, things are going to get worse from there. And this is something that I don't believe Steph Curry understands about the 7 levels of disrespect. The first thing that they do is start talking about about other men in front of you. And again, you have to shut that down from minute 1. And you shut it down by cutting her off completely. Because if she says she wants to talk about another man, you let her go be with another man. She is not worth your time. And your time is precious. Your life is precious. And that's why you cut that woman loose, because you can do better than her. Now, I know that there are children involved here, and that would be settled by the family courts. Because again, this woman is participating in adultery in her heart. And this needs to be shut down almost immediately. Now, I see things escalating to the level 2 level of disrespect with Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry, because on this level 2, after she makes these statements that disrespect you by talking about other men, what she's doing right now is participating in actions that show that she wants to be by herself. She wants to be single, and her actions show how she wants to be single by doing things like dressing like a single woman. Because when I saw Ayesha Curry wearing those short shorts in that little outfit, that was not about dressing for her man. Because a woman who dresses for her man, she's going to dress in a way that reflects positively on him. The message she is sending to all the guys out here is that, look at me, I'm hot, and I'm going to be available soon, and you guys can possibly get a shot at me if you play your cards right. So she's basically sending a message to, thank you, Black Uru Strikes, for the donation. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to donate to the Super Chat, you can do so as well. And let's get those likes up. We got 72 in the room, 34 likes now. Let's get that up to 50 at least. Come on, guys. Let's get that up. It helps with the algorithm. But when it comes down to that second level of disrespect, she's out here dressing like a single woman. And when you dress like a single woman, you're not showing respect for your marriage or respect for your children. Now, this third level of disrespect I saw coming this week, and this third level of disrespect that I see that your Ayesha Curry is participating in is wearing no wedding ring, I believe, to the BET Awards. And when you have a woman who is taking off her wedding ring, that is a sign that she's getting ready to say, again, not only is she available, but she's getting ready to make a statement. I'm ready to have an affair with some other dude behind this dude's back. Because if he's going to stand by and let me disrespect him, then I'm going to escalate my behavior by going out here and having this affair with this man on the side. And these guys are going to see that I'm available because they're not going to see the wedding ring on my finger. And because they don't see the wedding ring, they're going to think they have a way in. So she's sending a message to the world that, hey, you guys can come in and get with me, and I'm available. Let's go do this, because that's what a woman does when she's taking her wedding ring off. It's like a scenario I talked about in my ebook, Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho, how there are these part-time hoes out here who will take their wedding ring off and go to a bar and pick up a guy, and the guy will be out here having an affair with this woman, not knowing that she's out here and being married or even has a family. So he won't know what's going on, but she'll sit there and have affairs with these guys right behind his back. And the reason why she's having those affairs behind his back is because she's expressing contempt for him. Now, I'm seeing this disrespect continuing to escalate, because with this TV One article, what your Ayesha Curry is doing is telling people, again, they don't have to respect Steph Curry's personal space. Because when she's sitting there telling everybody that he's leaving his phone lying around with nude pictures of her, she is baiting people to go after Steph Curry's phone. And she's baiting him to go out here and try to find these nude pictures of her. And this is something, it looks like we got a troll. I think it's this Justin Peter Griffin. I think this guy's, I'm going to try to get this guy out of here. Thank you, Nightingale Wednesday Nightmare, for getting him out of here. Yeah, but she's being completely disrespectful to him, and by telling them, oh, he's got nudes on his phone, and that's a message to get these guys out of here. What am I saying? That's a message to her to get these guys to go get his phone, to go steal his phone, and to get those pictures of her and possibly post those pictures online, getting her more attention in a scandal to bait more guys to pay attention to her, and also gets your Steph Curry to be further disrespected by, I have a moderator already, William, so we're good. I mean, Nightingale Wednesday Nightmare's taking care of things. I have others out there, so it's taken care of. But this is disrespectful to Steph Curry, and the sad part is he can't see how he's being disrespected, because if he saw how he was being disrespected the way I did when I was 15 years old at Park West, he would get very angry about that. So you would think if he had seen this, but he's not seeing it. Instead, after he posted that picture on Instagram, sitting there talking about, I stand by my woman, basically, again, he was sending a message to her, telling her, okay, I can do whatever I please. I don't have to respect you. You are a joke, and I can do whatever I want, and you will not check it. So when I look at your Steph Curry, I see a man who is in deep need of one of my books like Stop Simping, because he is simping extra hard in this situation. And because he is simping extra hard, this is why this woman is getting ready to make his wallet 10 pounds lighter. Because as she continues to escalate this disrespect to him, what she's going to do is go out here and have not only have this affair with another man. That's a link. I left a link to Stop Simping in the chat. You can pick that book up on Amazon.com. And what she's going to do, not only have an affair with one of these dudes out here, she's also going to sooner or later file for divorce. And she's going to clean that wallet out like a box of X-Lax, because she's looking at Stephen Curry and seeing that $90 million contract he has, and thinking about how she can get the child support and get the money out of him. And then after she gets the money out of him, then she's going to go and try to get the attention of these other guys, Pookie, Bobo, Ray Ray, Rondell, and the rest of the crew. And she's going to have affairs with those guys because she wants to go out here and be the super thought. And that's what she wants to do. And she sees that as the option, because now that she has the bag, she now wants to monkey branch and get with the next man. So I see what's going on with Ayesha Curry, and I see a really bad situation for Steph Curry. But a lot of this is his own fault, because he just does not understand how to deal with women, and he doesn't know how to deal with them the way a man deals with a woman. He's bought into this whole passive idea of Christianity. And when it comes down to that passive Christianity that people have learned, that old time religion, this is not the way a man deals with a woman. Because when it comes down to that old time religion, these guys believe in being passive, forgive and forget, try to understand. But that's not what God made for things to be. He did not mean for you to be passive, because his definition of meek is different. And under his definition of meek, he wants you to be active. And if you have a wife who is out here coveting attention and violating his commandments, he wants that man to come in here and hard check that wife, because that's what a man does as the leader and the steward. And as the leader and the steward, it's his job to keep his house in order. So if this woman is out here making plans to commit adultery, that man is first going to check that woman, and then he's going to make efforts. If she does actively go out here and commit that adultery, he's going to divorce that woman, because that woman has violated the marriage contract. And your Ayesha Curry is violating the marriage contract right now by going out here and seeking the attention of other men. As a wife, it is her job to go out here and form a relationship with that man, to support that man, to work with that man as a helpmeet. As his wife, you are to be looking at him, and you are to be seeking his attention the same way he's supposed to be looking to you to get your attention. Both of you reflect on each other, and your behavior reflects on each other. And when you have a woman out here participating in disrespectful behavior, it sends a message to the world that people not only don't have to respect your marriage, they also don't have to respect you as a man. Because if you are the head of the family, you as the head, if people see you as weak, they see the whole household as weak. I don't know, Rudy, if he has a friend to give him advice, but it's clear to me nobody is talking to Steph Curry the way I learned about things. And because nobody's talking to him, he's sitting there letting these things go by when he needs to know about how things need to go. Because when you have a woman out here escalating behavior, that's something that needs to be dealt with immediately. And if you don't deal with it, then it's going to get worse. And what's happening again is she's escalating the disrespect because she believes that she can do better than your Steph Curry. And she's caught up in these concepts of hypergamy and feminism because with Ayesha Curry right now, she wants to be a superstar on the same level as Steph Curry. She wants to be a star on the same level as Steph Curry. She wants to be as famous as Steph Curry. She wants the same attention as Steph Curry. And if she's a Christian woman who is following the living God, she should have understood that your husband is in the spotlight because he is a talented NBA player. And as his wife, you don't need to get that type of attention because as his helpmeet and support, you are getting your needs met through him. And he is the one who is helping you. You are the one supposed to be helping him. And you don't need this attention. I mean, this woman has a successful restaurant. She has a successful business, but that's not enough for her because she is competing with her man. And a lot of these Black women who've bought into feminism, this is what they do. They want to compete with their man. They want the same equal attention of a man. But when you compete with your man, what happens is you are making efforts to alienate your man because there can only be one leader in the relationship. And it looks like your Ayesha Curry is looking to fight Steph Curry for that power. And that's the thing that's really putting their marriage to the test, is because she wants the attention he is getting. She wants the accolades he is getting. And she wants to do that, not understanding that these efforts she is making to get that attention just show how jealous she is of her husband, and low-key under the table, how much contempt she has for her husband. Thank you, Humble Servant 20, for the donation. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. If you guys, again, want to donate, you can donate to the Super Chat, or you can donate to the Cash App. Try to bring this up. You guys can donate to the Cash App. Or the Patreon. Because I really appreciate those donations. They go a long way, and they help me with paying the bills, and they also are helping me try to raise the funds for the ISIS graphic novel. All of that is part of why I do the live streams. It's the way to help raise those funds, along with the Patreon and the Cash App and the PayPal. All of that really helps. But when it comes down to Ayesha Curry, again, she shows absolutely no respect for this man, and she is just making a complete fool out of him. And what he doesn't see is that these levels of disrespect, they are only going to get worse as things go along. Because when it comes down to women, when they see they can test one boundary and get away with it, they then push further down the boundaries. And as what Ayesha Curry is doing is she continues to see what she can get away with before your Steph hard checks her. So what she's doing right now with her behavior is she continues to escalate, seeing what she can get away with. And again, Steph Curry doesn't understand how much worse this can get. Excuse me. Now, when it comes down to these escalations of disrespect, they go after the affair into physical violence. And this is because the woman does not respect you, and she doesn't respect you. She believes she can then go out here and hurt you because when women are emotional and if they can't hurt you emotionally, they see they can get away with things, they will then escalate to the physical. So she's out here and she's trying to get this affair started, and after she gets this affair started, that's when things are going to get really worse for Steph Curry, because that's when she's going to escalate the disrespect into physical violence and even possibly an attempt on your Steph Curry's life. Now, I've watched a lot of episodes of Snapped, and I've seen these levels of disrespect escalate into murder in many of these cases when these women are out here and they can't get they want the attention of other guys. They then, after they have the affair with this other guy, go out here and then recruit that other guy to go kill this other guy. And that's where things could possibly head for your Steph Curry. And because he doesn't know how bad things can get, because a lot of times when you have women like this who have this are expressing disrespect for you, this disrespect again turns into contempt, and this contempt turns into hatred. And this is something many of these women will do. They will go from disrespecting this man to having contempt for this man to hating this man. And once they hate this man, that's when they feel like it's okay to kill this man. And Steph Curry, because he's a dumb beta, can't see the road that he's on and how tragic this road can be. Because if he were to take a critical look at this road, he would understand that this is why you have to go out here and have the backbone and the stones to shut this woman down. And if you have to, divorce this woman, because if she's out here believing what idiots like Jada Pinkett are telling him at the Red Table Talk, she is getting ready to wind up destroying everything around her. So she's sitting here buying into the ideas of your Jada Pinkett. And your Jada Pinkett is not someone any Christian woman would want to listen to, because your Jada Pinkett is a sexual deviant. And we look at the dysfunctional way she has raised Jaden and Willow due to her sexual deviancy. And this is not somebody who Ayesha Curry should be listening to or following the advice of. Because when it comes down to your Jada Pinkett, this is a woman who has been in an open marriage, has participated in numerous sexually deviant acts, and has openly talked about participating in sexually deviant acts. So this is not somebody your Ayesha Curry should be even around. And her being around this type of female, having a Red Table Talk, this was deeply troubling to me, because, again, no Christian woman is going to want to be around a woman like this who participates in sexual deviancy and is talking about concepts like open marriage that are diametrically opposed to what is in her Bible. Because a woman who is a Christian woman who is following the living God, she is going to be out here again wanting to serve her husband, be a helpmeet to her husband, and participate in behavior that reflects positively on him. And that's what it looked like at the beginning, but it looks like she has gotten around these toxic females like your Jada Pinkett, who who's just a sexual deviant. I mean, the things that I have read that she has talked about, having affairs on Will Smith, participating in threesomes, and even her own daughter talking about the sexually deviant behaviors that she has seen. This woman is not somebody that I would want my wife being around or my girlfriend being around, because this is a very, very sick woman. And if Ayesha Curry is listening to this type of female, then I can see how she has learned how to disrespect her husband. Because when you're sitting there talking about wanting the attention of other men, the attention, that's something no woman who follows God would ever want. she would always want to have her eyes on her husband because she knows that she wants to please the living God and she wants to do the work of the living God who told her to be a helpmeet and a support to her husband. So I can see where your Ayesha Curry is becoming spiritually lost and losing a connection to the living God because, again, a woman who is following the living God wants to serve her husband, she wants to support her husband, and she wants to stand with her husband. She is not going to and go out here and talk about wanting the attention of other men. And she's not going to express contempt for her husband by going out here and talking about one, that attention she wants from that other man, and then expressing behaviors that show that she wants that attention by dressing up in those short shorts and showing off her legs, going out here and taking off her wedding ring, then going out here and talking about how there are nude photos of her online. These are all behaviors that show that your Ayesha Curry she is deeply spiritually lost. She is deep spiritually damaged. And she's thinking she's going in the right way, just like they said in the Psalms. There is a way that seems right unto a man, but at the end is death. And Ayesha Curry is on a path that she believes is right to her, but at the end of the day is going to lead to the death of her marriage. And it's going to lead to her being extremely miserable as she gets caught up in all of this sexual deviancy, these affairs, and all of this other stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that winds up leaving a woman becoming extremely miserable because she's going to sit there and throw away a perfectly good marriage and do this all because someone like Jada Pinkett is telling her things that, oh, you can have other men and stuff like that. And what she's doing is she wants to bring somebody in so that she can have some company in her misery, because those who participate in sexually deviant acts like Jada Pinkett has participated in, these women are extremely miserable because, as I've heard Black Male Advice TV Ringo talk about it, and I've seen it in the Bible, when a woman and a man lie together, the two become one. And just like Paul talks about, when a man and a woman lie together, when a man lies with a harlot, he becomes one with a harlot. So what she's doing is opening herself up to the spirits of these other men, the DNA of those other men. And that type of stuff is going to lead to her becoming mentally ill and mentally damaged. Because when you have a woman who's out here, again, coveting the attention of other men, all it takes is for one of those men to come and talk to her, give her some attention, and when she does that, she will give in to temptation, and that's going to wind up leading to her becoming eventually mentally ill as a result. Because when you are out here and you are laying down with different men or seeking the attention of other men, again, you're opening yourself up to these spirits, you're opening yourself up to this DNA, and this is going to change not only your physical makeup, is also going to change your mental health. And this is something that women don't understand because they are so caught up in their feelings about attention that they can't think about the big picture as related to not only their physical health, but their mental health as well. Because when you have a woman, again, who is out here and listening to someone like a Jada Pinkett, who is deeply damaged, because she is a wreck, because this woman is you just need to just Google her stories and you'll find out about Jada Pinkett and her sexual deviancy. And again, this is all related to Steph Curry not checking things, because Steph Curry at this point right now, he should have checked this a long time ago. He should have said, look, you are not going to be going on any show with Jada Pinkett. I know her background. I know that she's a sexual deviant. I don't want my woman around this sexual deviant. And I don't want her talking this type of woman, because when you're talking to this type of woman, she can then have you start buying into these toxic ideas. And these toxic ideas are going to disrupt my home, my family, and my marriage. So I'm going to make sure that you're not talking to her and you're not going to go on that show. That's the way I would do things. It's like, look, you're not going on that show because I don't want you around this woman. And yeah, the women will tell you, oh, you can't tell me what I can do. But no, I can say that, look, that reflects badly on me and that reflects badly on you. And it's not the type of attention that you want. Because a man is going to let a woman know that, look, there's good attention and there's bad attention. And bad attention is not going to go positively towards you at the end. So what happened here, I believe with the Red Table Talk, it started the decline of Steph's marriage because it opened up your Ayesha Curry to these toxic women. And again, you as a man have to shut that down because your wife, again, should not be around these type of toxic women and their toxic ideas because they will destroy your marriage. So I look at him as not checking his woman, and him not checking his woman is why this disrespect continues to escalate, why this disrespect continues to get worse. And again, he's like 3-4 levels into the 7 levels of disrespect. And the next level after going out here and talking about pushing about being able to go into your husband's boundaries is going and having that affair, because that first level was telling everybody that she wanted attention from other men, and most guys would have broke up with her then. The second level was going out here and dressing like she was single, another level of disrespect. The third level was going out here and walking out with that wedding ring, letting all those men know she's available. And this fourth level is letting people know that they can push into his boundaries with his phone and be able to take his personal pictures out of her phone and out of his phone. And that's a fourth level of disrespect. The fifth level, I believe, is going out here and having this affair. The sixth level is baiting this beta male to go out here and do harm to Steph Curry. And the seventh level is this guy actually doing harm to Steph Curry. And again, Steph doesn't see where he rates on Tariq Nasheed's 7 levels of disrespect. And again, when you understand where the levels of disrespect are as a man, then you know where you stand. Because any man who understands disrespect understands that he shuts disrespect down immediately. And the reason why he shuts down disrespect is because when people are allowed to push boundaries with you, they will push you all the way to the wall. And if they can push you all the way to the wall, then they will feel like they can do whatever they please to you. And that's not something you allow people to do to you. So as a man, you cannot go out here and allow people to disrespect you from the first level of disrespect, because the first level is going to lead to people escalating things to another level. So when I look at Steph Curry, I see a classic textbook simp out here, and the kind of simp who's going to wind up in a graveyard if he doesn't watch himself. Because any man who lets women get a pass for bad behavior is a man who is marked for death. And this is where he's going, but he doesn't see where he's going. And this is where things are going, because when you let women get away with one thing, they will do other things. And you have to come in and, again, check that behavior. Because once you set that boundary with a woman, then she knows how far she can go with you. And if she chooses to stay with you, this is how far she's going to go. But if she doesn't respect those boundaries you set, then you let that woman go. And you let that woman go because this woman clearly has no respect for you as a man. She has no respect for your leadership as a man. She has no respect for your authority as a man. And because she has no respect for any of those things, that means you can't have a relationship with her, because any relationship you have with her is not a relationship. You are just being used as a tool. you are being used as a joke, and you are going to be used for your resources. And basically, she sees you as a piece of toilet paper she can wipe her backside with and flush down the toilet. Now, you as a man have to understand your value as a man. And when you understand your value as a man, you're not going to let a woman treat you like a piece of toilet paper. You're not going to let her wipe herself with you and flush you down the toilet. No, you're going to say that I have a value as a man, that God made me as a man. He made me for a purpose in this world. He made me to be a head of the family. He made me to be a leader. And as a man, you're going to take the lead in your life. And as you take that lead, you're going to set a standard for yourself. And part of setting that standard is go out here and say, look, if this woman wants to be disrespectful, then I need to cut her loose. And I need to go find a woman who will show me respect as a man, will value me as a man. And again, when I look at Steph Curry, $90 million contract with the NBA, him finding another woman wouldn't be that hard. But when I look at Steph Curry, I see a guy who is too emotionally attached to his childhood sweetheart to see her as what she is right now. And he still sees the teenage girl he saw back in high school. Now, when I look at Ayesha Curry, I see her as the woman she is right now. And that's something a man has to learn how to do when it comes down to women, is see them as they are right now, because their actions define their character. Their actions define who they are. And if her actions are showing you that she doesn't want to be in a relationship, then you need to give her her walking papers, because as a man, you have value. And yeah, she has the bag, but I don't think she'll have a bag for long, because when it comes down to this female, she's going to get out here and get Pookie and Ray Ray, and they're gonna spend through all of her money, because when it comes down to these females, they're not very good at managing money. So they're going to wind up blowing through all that money. And then you as a man can go on to build with some other woman while she's winding up, again, miserable in the company of sexual deviants like Jada Pinkett. And she's going to be miserable in their company, probably with her kids. And if Steph is smart, he'll try to get custody of his kids to keep them from this toxic female, because the road she's headed on is not a good road. Because here is a woman who has had 3 children, and she's going to go out here and try to go out here and get with a bunch of guys, these wannabe rappers, these wannabe actors, these wannabe bums. And this is not going to end well for her, because as a woman with 3 kids, again, this is the marketplace for her. She's not going to get any quality guys like Steph Curry to top level. She's going to get the bottom, either these bottom tier white dudes who are bums, or these beta male black guys. And again, she is not the dime piece she believes she's going to be when she steps into the marketplace. She's thinking that because she has a successful restaurant, that this is going to be make her attractive to other men. But just like Ophidian said, she overestimates her sexual market value. She thinks because she has this restaurant and she has Steph's money, this is going to make her attractive to other men. But men are not judging you based on your economic assets or your financial success. They judge you by your values and your character. And most men who have values and character do not see Ayesha Curry as wife material. They see her as a thought. And even worse, they see her as a bust down, because when it comes down to a woman who has had 3 kids, her social marketplace value has dropped significantly. It is like going out here and buying a car with 200,000 miles on it. Yeah, it looks great on the outside, but it's got a lot of problems that you're going to have later on. So when they look at Ayesha Curry, they see her on the singles marketplace as somebody who has 3 kids, a lot of emotional baggage, and soon to be a lot of other issues So she's going to enter a relationship marketplace if she decides to divorce Steph Curry. And she's not going to get a quality man on the same level as Steph Curry. So she's not going to get the exact same guy. She doesn't understand what she has. She doesn't understand who God has blessed her with, because God has blessed her with a great man. I mean, the highest paid player in the NBA, two-time NBA champion. And she's going to go out of her way to destroy this. And she's destroying this because she has serious self-hate issues. She doesn't feel that she's good enough. She doesn't feel that she's valuable enough. And she doesn't feel that she deserves that type of man. And in some cases, I believe she thinks she can do better. She's bought into some of the poisoning from Jada Pinkett and many of these other black women out here, who have told her some lies, told her, oh, you can do better than him when you have the very best. And what these chicks want to do is send you out here, make you believe you can do better, and then you will wind up with a guy who is far below what you had. And then once you let go of a Steph Curry, all these other chicks will come in and try to take Steph Curry off the market as soon as he goes back on the market. And that's where your Ayesha Curry doesn't understand about the dating game and the marriage game, is that it's chess, not checkers. And a lot of these women, what they will do, who you think are your friend, will set you up to destroy your marriage so that they can go out here and take your man. So they will sit there and tell you, oh, this, you can do better. You're this dime piece. You've got all this success. You've got a successful restaurant. You can be a superstar just like him. And then as they're telling you all of this nonsense, these same women are plotting to get your man right out from under you. And they will sit there and have you looking for the attention of other men while they are making plans to get the attention of your man. And as they're trying to get the attention of your man, you're sitting there thinking that you got a chance with these other guys, but these other guys are far below par. And that's why you have to play chess with these females. And that's why smart women don't put their business in the street. They don't talk about their sex lives with these other women. They don't talk about their personal relationship with about their man with other women, because they know that if they talk about this stuff, these women are going to start making plans to go get your man. So when they talk about their man, sometimes they will talk about him in very general terms, but they don't want people knowing their business, because they know that these other women are going to try to come in and try to take your man, because women compete for the attention of men. And this is why you have to be careful when you are dealing with other women like your Jada Pinkett's on things like Red Table Talks, because they will bait you into saying things that will set you up to destroy your relationship. So when I looked at that Red Table Talk again, I looked at it critically and I said, Ayesha Curry doesn't know how she's being set up by Jada Pinkett. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't understand the game is chess, not checkers. And she's about to play a game where she winds up catching a checkmate. And that's what's happening to her right now, is she's getting ready to get checkmated by these women, and they're setting her up so that they can go out here and destroy her marriage so they can have her, again, be miserable. And so he can be miserable. And they're sitting there getting ready to go and make that move on him, talking about, oh, you can do better than her, or you can get with me. And it's a setup. And she doesn't see what's being done to her, because she is in her feelings about her looks. She's in her feelings about her feelings of insecurity. And again, Steph Curry needs to get in there and try to check his wife and let her know what's going on. I don't think Jada is setting up to get Steph Curry and Andre, because Jada Pinkett is a sexual deviant. She has an open marriage with Will Smith. But when it comes down to Jada Pinkett. She's really putting ideas, I believe, in Ayesha Curry's head. So, and a lot of these women are putting ideas in her head, and she's thinking she's going to get better than Steph Curry, not understanding that she's being set up to take a big fall. So when I look at your Ayesha Curry, I see a woman who really needs some spiritual guidance. She needs some counseling because she doesn't see where she's going, and she doesn't see the horrific end to where things are going. Because when you are she's 33 years old and she's in a marriage, that's not a good place to be when you have a divorce, because right now she is in a place with 3 kids where it's not going to get any better for her. It's only going to get worse. And it's going to just not only destroy her life, but the quality of life for her children, because you don't want to have these toxic guys around your children, because these toxic guys will abuse these children. And it's not an environment you would want to put your kids in. Your kids need a father. And again, I believe all these people want to break up Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry because they have a successful marriage. They have a model for a family. They are following the living God. And they are a textbook model for what a marriage can be. So you have people like Jada Pinkett in there who want to go out here and destroy that marriage because they don't want to see a successful family, because it refutes their ideas. Because if we look at Jada Pinkett's family, we look at Willow and Jaden and the sexual deviant ideas they have based on the sexual deviant models they have seen from their mother. This is why they would probably she's jealous of an Ayesha Curry and wants to sit there and sabotage that marriage. So I see a lot going on here. And again, this disrespect is something that is escalating. And it's something, again, Steph Curry, it doesn't seem like he has a handle on it. And he doesn't really understand it, because I believe he's a young guy too. But it takes an older man to sit down and talk to him and try to get him to understand things. Because if you have an older man, he's going to sit there and tell you, look, this is a setup to mess your marriage up. And these people don't want to see you happy. So they want to destroy your marriage so you can be as miserable as they are. And they're telling you these lies that, oh, there's somebody better out there. There's somebody better. It's like there is no better at this age. At 33, you are in a very blessed place. You have a great marriage. And there's no need to go out here and try to pursue another man when you have a cream of the crop brother out here who is taking care of business, taking care of his family, and taking care of things. I mean, this when you look at Steph Curry, he is what every black woman says that they want in a so-called good man. You have a Christian man who is dedicated to his family. And yes, he's a bit of a simp because he follows a passive approach to Christianity. He has not been taught the active approach, because when it comes down to the Word of God is living. And because it is a living word, it means being active. So he's not understanding the principles of the scriptures. And because he doesn't understand the principles of the scriptures, this is why he believes he has to stand by his wife instead of going out here and standing up to his wife. Because when a man understands the scriptures, he understands he has to stand up to his wife, because as the leader, again, he is answerable to the living God. And as the leader, he has to set the standard that meets God's standard. So he has to understand where things relate to the Most High, not as related to this American concept of pseudo-Christianity. Because the American concept of pseudo-Christianity is an extremely passive approach. And again, that passive approach was made to be a religion meant to pacify people, but the Word of God itself was meant to be active. Again, he's a living God and his word is alive. So he wants you to go out here and live. And living is being active. So Steph Curry needs to learn how to be active. And part of being active is checking your wife, because she is supposed to be helping you. And if she's not helping you, then she is not serving to do her job in that marriage. She's out here looking for the attention of other men, then that does not serve your marriage. It does not mean she is serving you. She is out here coveting these men, again, violating not only the one of the 10 commandments, but also the first commandment which Jesus made, which said to love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and spirit, and to love your neighbor as yourself. So she's violating that because she's not fulfilling the law that Jesus created. These are things that she's supposed to know as a follower of the living God, but she's not following these things. And because she has been corrupted by these sinful women, and these wicked women, what she is doing now is now headed down this bad road. And this is not a good road for her to be on. She doesn't understand that at 33, that wall is getting closer to her, and she's about to hit that wall. And it's better to hit that wall in a marriage where you can be with your husband than to hit that wall alone, because when you are alone, that your prospects of getting another husband are slim to none. Again, she doesn't know what she's been blessed with. She doesn't know that there is no better than Steph Curry. There is no more better man than what you've got right now. And she needs to appreciate the man she's got right now, because when it comes down to this Steph Curry, this is as good as it's going to get. And she's not understanding that there is no better out there. She's thinking that there is better, but this is it. And she's thinking she's going to live well on the divorce, but that's not going to happen at all, because when you have a woman who has been divorced, she has a lot of mental issues from the emotional damage of the end of the marriage, because women have these emotional attachments to men. And those, once you sever those bonds, that leads to a lot more insecurity. And then she tries to fulfill that void with other men. But again, when you have this DNA and these spiritual bonds with these other men, what's going to happen is she's going to wind up becoming more and more mentally ill. Luciano asked a question: does mental health play a role in simping? In some ways it does, but when it comes down to simping, the foundations of it is being raised in a dysfunctional home and being raised not understanding, and when it comes down to simps, male life skills and understanding how to navigate relationships with women, because you haven't seen a healthy one modeled for you. Now, some of these guys, again, every guy has a simp phase, and eventually they grow out of the simp phase. But it looks like when it comes on to Steph Curry, he has not really grown out of the simp phase as related to his boyhood into manhood, because most guys, once they've come out of the simp phase, they understand that when you have a woman who is out here disrespecting you, they're going to shut that down, either in a passive fashion by walking away from that woman, or actively by letting that woman know that they're not going to disrespect them. And they're going to do that because they understand that when you have a female who disrespects you and you stay in a relationship with her, it's only going to get worse, not better. So it's better for you to cut that woman loose and go find another woman, because everything in your relationship is only going to get worse at this point. And this woman will go from insulting you with verbal assaults to going out here having affairs with you, to have to express a middle finger at you, all the way up to, again, participating in violence against you, and then escalating things to the point where they will commit murder, your murder, and then try to collect insurance money on you. So this is not a good situation that your Steph Curry is in, and he underestimates how bad things are. Because I've read so many stories about simps. I've read so many, watched so many shows like Snapped about simps, and this is where the pattern is. Again, he's on the fourth level of disrespect right now, and if he doesn't stop the disrespect is going to lead to him winding up being on the news with people talking about either his divorce or his murder, and he'd be better off with a divorce rather than the murder. Okay, I'm going to read through some of the chats. Yeah, you got to watch out for corrupt women like Jada Pinkett. She is a wicked woman, and those are the type of chicks, again, that will mess your marriage up. What's up with Will Smith? Well, Jada Pinkett has always had an emotional thing for Tupac, but again, she's a sexual deviant, so she is, again, disrespecting Will Smith the same way Ayesha Curry is disrespecting Steph Curry. And again, when you have a woman talking about other men, you have to let that woman go. When she starts talking about other boyfriends and other guys, that's when you get rid of her, because that's not a good sign. That's not good. Andre makes a good point. Yeah, why would other NFL and NBA players want with a 33-year-old woman with 3 kids when there are plenty of younger women out there outside of every game? Why would they want her? I mean, it's just they can do better, and they can build with another woman. She has nudes up. Yeah, I know that she was. Yep, but Steph has to do things like get a prenup, and he has to start talking to divorce lawyers, because this is not ending well. I first would say that he needs to really talk to a marriage counselor, because when you have a marriage like this, you have to make an effort to try to preserve it. And this type of behavior, again, he needs to get into counseling and do something about it, not just post some picture on Instagram saying, "I stand by my wife," because if your wife is participating in behavior like this, then she's not standing by you. And this is something he needs to understand, that his wife is not standing by him. She is trying to step away from him, and her actions show she is trying to make efforts to step away from him. And if he doesn't step up, she's not only going to step out on him, but she may be making plans to step in, putting him in a body bag, and he just can't see the big picture. Luciano, do I think indoctrination systems in pop culture regarding simping are to blame? Well, partially they are, because our culture has been hijacked by feminists, and they want soft males. So they want to create a culture of simps so that they can have a group of disposable men to use for resources. And those who buy into it, they're going to wind up believing that everything that this feminist believes. And what happens is they don't understand that men, you only get maybe 1 or 2 chances at a good relationship. And then after that, you're going to have to deal with the garbage can. It's something I talked about in a video called The Pool of Simps, because the pool of simps for a woman when she's young, like when Ayesha Curry was dating Steph Curry, it's very large. And if you can get with a guy when you're younger, what will happen is you will wind up having a better chance of getting married and having a family. And then as you get older, that pool starts to shrink, because when it comes down to guys, when all these guys start getting older, they start getting more seasoned, they start getting more life experience, they start developing life skills. Some of these guys, they do wind up getting killed by other simps. Other men get married. A lot of guys start waking up. And then all of a sudden, the pool of simps shrinks down, because a lot of these guys, again, have gotten married, they have relationships, they have family. And the 4 or 5 guys who were chasing you now have their own place, and what's left are just a handful of guys, and they're usually the fat guys, the bald guys, or the other forms of simps out there, the creepy guys. So the pool starts to get small, and this is where your Ayesha Curry is headed for. She doesn't see where the pool has evaporated, and the number of guys who are out here who were checking for her at 14, 15 when she was pursuing Steph Curry, that pool at 33 might be maybe 2, 3 guys, and 2 or 3 of these guys, one might be living with his mother, another might be working a job far below her, and another one might just be Pookie, who is out here making rap records in his closet and talking about how he wants to open up a store. So that's where she's headed, but she doesn't see that big picture because she's in her feelings about the short term and the attention from men that she wants, not seeing the kinds of men who want to give her attention are usually these broke trash tier guys, because when it comes down to top tier guys like Steph Curry, these guys are going to get the attention from 80% of the women out there, and those women are looking at him. So the guys who are looking at her are not going to be these high-level guys. They're going to be these beta males, these incels, and these other simps out here. They're going to be the guys who she's going to wind up with, because at 33, they're not going to see her as any sort of girlfriend or boy or relationship material or even marriage material. They're just going to see her as somebody they can go out here and pump and dump and use. And this is not a good place for her to be. I mean, to be in a relationship that's under God's natural order, to be blessed like that, and then to go out into the world, that's very shameful, and it's very sad for her to do. I mean, when I look at her and what she's doing, what's up, Smiley Man? Glad to see you here. This is a bad place for her, and she doesn't see how bad of a place it is by trying to go out here and get the attention of these other men, not understanding the guys she's trying to get attention from. These are not even worth the time to even deal with. These are the whack dudes, the thirsty dudes. Glad to see you from Holland, Smiley Man. But these are not the guys you really want to deal with. If you can get yourself a husband, let's get the likes up. We're 87 people in the chat, 70 likes. Let's get that up to at least 80. Come on, guys, we can do it. I mean, let's get those likes up. But when it comes down to a woman with a quality man, that's something that is very rare, and it's something that needs to be appreciated. And this is where your Ayesha Curry doesn't understand about things. She's trying to live this life like these feminists tell her, where she can have it all, and she's going to wind up with nothing, because what satisfies most women who are under the living God is her husband, her children, and she's trying to live this celebrity lifestyle, trying to get the attention of other people, when she needs to learn how to be content and satisfied with her husband. And this is where she doesn't understand where she's going by disrespecting her husband. If she continues to disrespect him, thank you, Off the Corner, for the donation. I really appreciate it. You guys, again, if you want to donate to the Super Chat, you may do so. And if you want to donate to the Cash App or the Patreon, you may do so as well. And free speech for a black man. Can you tell us, being a mother? Well, when it comes down to the mother of 2 or mother of 3, her social marketplace value has declined. And when it comes down to men, they don't see her as the asset she used to be. They see her as somebody who has already been with another man, and they see her as somebody who has a bunch of baggage. So they're not really interested in pursuing her for a relationship or a marriage, because she has already been married, and she's already got kids. So that means she's got baggage. So no man wants to go into a situation where he's going to be a Pullman porter and cleaning up another man's mess or dealing with another man, because oftentimes when you have women who have been divorced, they still have emotional ties to that other man, spiritual ties to that other man. and they're looking to still be with that other man. So it's not a good situation for a man to be in. For example, I'm going to talk about remember the show Cleveland Show, where Cleveland Brown, the character from Family Guy, he decided to marry his childhood sweetheart, who had 2 kids by another man, and she still had feelings for that other man. And Cleveland Brown was basically used as a roll of toilet paper by this woman, and she basically treated him like a joke. She had no real respect for him, and he was basically like another child in her home. He was actually in the place of a pet dog, and he was not a leader or an authority figure. Thank you, Wilburman X. I really appreciate the donation. And they don't respect you. They don't respect you as a leader. They don't see you as an authority figure. They have no regard for you. And that's what happened to Cleveland Brown on the Cleveland Show. And because Cleveland was emasculated on his own show, that's why the Cleveland Show never did well in the ratings, because people didn't want to sit there and watch a man be emasculated on television every week. They didn't want to see a black man be emasculated every week, where the kids were just doing whatever they wanted, where people were doing, or the woman had no regard for him. And she basically, I have over 80 likes. We're neck and neck, 82 likes, 82 viewers, 83 viewers, and 81 likes. It's really good. But it's something that when I was watching the Cleveland Show, it was something that stuck out to me. And I wondered, why did this show not relatable? And then I realized when I was watching one of them, I said, this is why the show is not relatable. This man is sitting here literally being a complete cuck on screen every week, and he's a laughing stock. You have this black man marrying his childhood sweetheart because he still sees her in the way he sees the 14-year-old her or the teenage her, and he doesn't see the adult her whose marketplace value has dropped. She's a single mom. She's a bust down. And she's sitting there, and he's sitting there still thinking that she's the dime piece she was back in high school. And then he marries her because he's still thinking he's married the dime piece he saw in high school. So he's not seeing the big picture as related to what was in, I forget her name. I forget her name on Cleveland, but it was a really embarrassing show. But thank you, Jonathan Neal, for the donation. I really appreciate it. But that Cleveland Show, it was embarrassing to watch, and you can't stomach an episode. It's like, I remember one time I tried to watch one, and it's like my brain just said no, just subconsciously just said no, and it was like you just can't get through it because you look at this guy, he's just being completely emasculated, and it was just horrible to see. And when I look at Steph Curry, he's reminded me a lot of Cleveland Brown. I mean, Cleveland Brown just sat there. I mean, even when he was with his first wife was disrespecting him, and her disrespect continued to escalate. I remember the Family Guy episode where she was out here having the affair with Glenn Quagmire. And again, that was really about how little respect she had for him. It wasn't about how she saw Glenn Quagmire as attractive. It was about how she had no respect for him as a man. And because she had no respect for him as a man, she felt she could go out here and have a sexual relationship with Glenn Quagmire. So when I looked at that episode, it was like looking at the 4th level of disrespect right there, though even the 5th level, because Cleveland was on the 5th level of disrespect. And that's when, again, when they start cheating on you. And on that 5th level of disrespect, again, that's where things are going to get worse for you. And we're lucky that his wife wound up getting killed, because she would have wound up planning his murder, and that would have been the next storyline, because that's what happens to these guys. They get emasculated. The woman does not see him as anybody she respects. She goes, finds a beta male. She uses the beta male to go kill him, and then she goes and collects the insurance money. That has been the paradigm of many Snapped episodes and many of these other shows like 2020 and Dateline. And again, when I look at Steph Curry, he's on that bad road, but he can't connect the dots just yet to see what's going on. Luciano, what was the question again? Why do I think black men simping empowers them? Well, that's because they've bought into a lot of media on Madison Avenue in Hollywood, and they think that this paradigm is one that's going to work because they see it in the movies and TV. And because they have no men in their life to model manhood for them, and they have no model for men to show them how to have relationships with women, they buy their ideas off soap operas back in the day. They buy their ideas off television back in the day. They buy their ideas off movies, and because they buy their ideas from these concepts, from these programs, they start trying to apply those approaches to life, not understanding that that's scripted entertainment and that the paradigm doesn't work. And because they're following this paradigm, this is why they wind up dealing with women who are disrespectful and wind up using them. Yeah, Donna was his second wife, and his first wife was Loretta. That's who it was. It's just been so long since I watched Family Guy, but because I can't stomach that show anymore because it's just gotten too beta over time. And again, I couldn't stand the Cleveland Brown, the way he was treated on the Cleveland show, and I couldn't stand the way Peter Griffin is. Peter Griffin has gotten so stupid that I can't even watch that show anymore. I talk about Peter Griffin in The Man Crisis and how this is what the feminists want to see. They want to see a stupid man on television so that they can go out here and present that to people. Eyes of Christ, I'll explain the levels of disrespect again. Now, this goes back to something Tariq Nasheed said about the 7 levels of disrespect. And the first level of disrespect is these women talking greasy and saying things like, I want the attention of other men, like Ayesha Curry has said. So that's the first level of disrespect. Now, the second level of disrespect is when you have a woman out here taking actions to seek the attention of other men. And Ayesha Curry did that when she was wearing those booty shorts and took that picture that went viral. Now, the third thing that women do to get the level of disrespect is go out here and take off their wedding ring and go out here and make it like they are available for a relationship. So that's like I believe, the third level. Now, the fourth level is when she starts violating your personal space. And what your Ayesha Curry did to violate Stephon Curry's personal space was send the message to other men that they could go out here and go get his cell phone in order to see her nude photos. So she's sending a message to everyone that, okay, you can step into his personal space and go touch his stuff and in order to see a picture of me, when that's all about being able to get into his personal space and be able to do things to him to show that his personal space can be violated and that she has no respect for his space. And the fifth level of disrespect is when she has an affair with that man these men she's seeking attention from. And that's the fifth level of disrespect. And that's where Ayesha Curry is headed to next, is going out here and having an affair with this man that she wants to have the attention from. And the sixth level of disrespect is when they go out here and start making plans to physically harm you. And the seventh level is when they try to go out here and plan your murder. So those are the 7 levels of disrespect. And those are where you have to deal with things from the first level. And that's something you definitely have to do as related to these relationships, is you have to go out here and you have to deal with that in the first level, because when you have a woman talking greasy about you, then you have to go out here and deal with that at that first level. And then they will go out here and deal with it at the first level, letting the woman know from minute 1 that if you start talking about other men again, you will go and be with those other men. All right, Vark, I'm glad you like Easting the Sands of Time cover. I did that one to show a powerful picture of black on black love. If you want to get a copy of Easting the Sands of Time, you can pick it up on Amazon. It's not letting me do it again, but you can go pick that up on Amazon. I'm glad you liked that one. But I wrote that so you could see a positive picture of black on black love. But again, when it comes down to these women like Ayesha Curry, when you hear them talking like this, you have to deal with that immediately. That's when you got to go and let that woman know it's time to go. It's time for you to leave. And it's time, okay, we got another troll. This bean tar, I'm going to have to get rid of this guy. And yeah, but this is the whole thing with these women like, again, Ayesha Curry. They have no respect for you. And that's something, again, you got to shut down immediately. And when you shut it down, that's when things are going to change for you, because she's going to understand where the boundaries are. And usually when women see themselves getting checked, then what they're going to do in many cases is go out here and realize that this is where the line is drawn. And if I cross that line, this is going to be it. Now, some of these chicks, when they get the line, when they get checked, what they do is they will go out, they will break up with you. And the best thing to do is just let them go. But other ones, when they get checked, what they're going to do is realize that this is it. If I mess this up, it's over. And if I really love this man, I need to stop playing these games. And I need to stop looking for attention from other men, or I'm not going to have a man at all. I'm going to get ready to wrap the stream about 10 minutes or so, but I'm going to try to I'm going to wrap it up in about 10 minutes, because I'm getting real. This was a really intense one. No, I haven't seen Nocturnal Animals, Gabrielle. I haven't seen it, so I couldn't comment on it. But I know about women like Ayesha Curry. I've seen them all throughout my life. And again, when she's sitting there, it's a good point, King Sigma. Yeah, she probably did use his money to start her business. But again, he should, if that's the case, he needs to check her, because he's the one providing her for her and giving her everything. And she's not appreciating what this brother is doing for her. Excuse me. She's not appreciating it. And when you don't appreciate what a brother is doing for you, then you need to go out and try to find somebody. You need to leave this relationship to find out how bad things are. And again, I believe that Ayesha Curry has been living in a bubble, and she doesn't know how bad it is. She doesn't know how bad things are. And that when it comes down to a woman her age, they are a lot more like the women in Waiting to Exhale, the women who sit there and say that they can't get a man. When in actuality, when it came down to those women, it was their bad choices that led to them not being able to get a man. And they missed the chances to have that relationship. So they threw their chances away because they wanted to have affairs with men, waiting to as the side piece, waiting for him to divorce somebody, like what is it, Robin and Savannah. Savannah had too high standards, and she also had the other one out there. I forget, Bernadine, who was mentally ill because she picked the wrong guy. And then you had Gloria, who was the single mom, who I believe was domineering and emasculating, and all of them were dysfunctional. Thank you, Off the Corner. I always try to stay cool when it comes down to appearances, because this is about my professional image. So I was on Obsidian Radio yesterday, and things were getting heated, but I understand that when you are on a media platform, how you present yourself is a reflection to the world, and how you present yourself, other people are watching you. So you have to maintain your cool and your professional image. and you have to be in self-control, because if you get emotional on the air when you're out here promoting products like I am, it can reflect negatively on you. So I try to keep it professional as possible whenever I'm making an appearance, whether it be on a show like Obsidian Radio, Judge Joe Brown show, or the True Power is Mine show I did about a couple of weeks ago. So I understand that when I'm out here, I have to put on a professional face, and that's why I know how to carry and conduct myself in a professional situation, because these live streams are not just live streams for me for entertainment purposes. They are also a part of my business. So when I'm out here doing these live streams, I do them so I can sell books like Aardvark was talking about, Steam, The Sands of Time, which is available on Amazon.com right now. You can pick this one up in paperback and Kindle, and you can also get this on Kindle Unlimited for free if you have a subscription. And the books of the 2019 catalog, like John Haynes' Dark Succubus, which came out about a month ago, and this one is great about John Haynes and his relationship with Steam, and it shows you a model of how men and women work, black men and women work together. Steam, Goddess of, which is a fun Steam series story, and Isis, All That Glitters. All these books are part of my brand. They're part of my imprint, and I have to put on a very professional face whenever I'm out here. And again, that's something that Steph Curry doesn't understand about his brand, is that when you have a wife out here seeking the attention of other men, it undermines their brand, and it undermines your business. So when you are out here, you have, that's why I say your woman reflects on you, and her behavior reflects on you, because you have to go out here. And if you are out here looking weak, what's going to happen is those women are going to see you as someone they don't need to respect. And other people in the business world, they're not going to see you as somebody they need to respect. What's up, Big Money Iceman? Glad to see you here. But that's something that guys have to understand early on. I think I got the man crisis under here, but somewhere. No, that's Legendary Man. It's over. But the man crisis is under there. So, but when it comes down to guys out here, they have to understand how they have to conduct themselves, because again, as an NBA player, Steph Curry has to understand that when he's out here, that if your wife is out here talking disrespectful to you, then it tells other people they can disrespect you too. And that's going to hurt him as related to his negotiating power when his contract comes up. And it's also going to hurt him when it's time to go out here and do these other endorsements. So these are things that are very important for Steph Curry to understand about. Not only when your wife is out here seeking attention from other men, it not only makes her look bad, but it also makes him look bad. So this is why he has to go out here and check his wife, because the way his wife treats him sends a message to other men that and women that it's okay to disrespect him. Thank you, Super Koku Jin 916 for the compliment. I always try to keep it professional, and I always try to keep it calm, because when you are on the air, again, the whole world is watching you. I mean, I've got guys from Holland watching me. I've got guys in Germany, got guys in the UK, and this is part of my brand. This is part of my face to the world. So I have to make sure that people see me in a professional light, and I have to make sure that I stand out here and present myself in a positive fashion. And again, this is something Steph Curry does not understand about his business, and how Ayesha Curry is undermining his business and also undermining his family. Because if she's out here trying to be the leader and out here disrespecting him, then she is preventing Steph Curry from being able to provide for his family, being able to take care of his family, and take care of business for that family. So she's not understanding how her behavior is damaging to him and damaging to his brand and damaging to their family. So she's not understanding that in order for Steph Curry to go out here and build, she is not supporting him. She is tearing this man down in her attempts to compete with him, and she's tearing him down in her attempts to get attention for herself. So she is hurting her husband and she is hurting her family because she doesn't understand that you can't be the head, only the man can be the head. And when you make that vow to marry that man, you made that vow to be with that man and commit to that man in that marriage. And this is what she doesn't get. And she's sitting there out here doing things that are disrespectful to her husband, not thinking about the long-term ramifications of her actions. Because the long-term ramifications of her actions that are hurting her, hurting her family. And this is the things that she's doing, again, all because she wants to be a hot chick, something that passed a long time ago. That is past, and what she needs to do is accept her position as a wife, because that's a way better position than what that hot chick is, because all of those hot chicks out there, those hot chicks over time, they turn into not chicks, because once they hit the wall and they are out here alone, they are miserable in the company of each other. They spend most of their time drinking with their cat in the house. They spend most of their time on antidepressants. And that's not a life anybody would want to live. And your Ayesha Curry doesn't see how she's living the best life. She's thinking about this feminist idea of the best life. And this feminist idea of the best life is the worst thing of all, because when you go out here and live that best life, that life isn't that great to begin with, because you're going home to an empty home with a cat, and you have no man at your side, and you have no family, you have no friends, you have nothing in your life, and you have nothing going on as related to anything that's mentally satisfying or spiritually satisfying or emotionally satisfying. Your life is extremely empty. And that's why a lot of these women who follow these feminists are miserable, why they're so depressed, and why a lot of them are now taking these antidepressants. And this is something Ayesha Curry really needs to think about, because the road that she's on is the good road, but she's getting ready to head on a bad road, following the absolutely terrible advice of dysfunctional females like your Jada Pinkett Smith, thinking that this is a good road when all she wants to do, again, is destroy her marriage so that she can have some misery to go on in her company. And yeah, you don't ever see K Walker 98. No, you never see a happy feminist, because when it comes down to feminists, they are miserable people, and they are miserable because their spirits are deeply troubled. A lot of them have been, again, victims of sexual abuse. A lot of them have been victims of sexual assault. They have a lot of mental problems. And what they want to do, again, is have some company to join them in their misery. And that's why you cannot buy into feminist ideals or the whole idea of being like a feminist, because a feminist is a very deeply troubled woman. And again, Ayesha Curry buying into these feminist ideas, that she's a deeply troubled woman. So I'm going to get ready to wrap this stream up. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the stream. I really appreciate you guys coming out to the stream. And I would really appreciate it if you guys would pick up the books of the SJS Direct catalog, like Esteem, The Sands of Time, which is a fun teen time travel romance. John Haynes' Dark Succubus, which is the newest book in the SJS Direct catalog, and features a strong, positive, masculine black man. And books like Esteem, Goddess Of, where the devilish diva takes on a demonic dominatrix, and Isis, All That Glitters, where the goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber. So if you guys could go over to Amazon.com and pick up all of these books and The Man Crisis in paperback and ebook, I would really appreciate it. It would help me a long way towards continuing to pay the bills to do these live streams. And it would help me towards raising the funds to pay for the ISIS graphic novel if you guys would donate to the Cash App, the Patreon, or the PayPal. And again, I really want to get my books in the hands of readers. And again, I would really appreciate it if you guys would pick up the books of the SJS Direct imprint. I hope you'll be there for Friday's night's live stream, where I'm going to be talking about undercover goths in the subculture. And I hope you'll be there for that stream this Friday night.